Yo, what is up, friends? It's Mochi back with another video, and today's video is a tier list for anime Vanguards update 0.5. If you guys could like and subscribe and hit the notification button, that would really help me out. I am doing a Rengoku giveaway in my Discord server once trading drops, link down below. Without wasting too much time, let's get to the video. Alright, I would say I have a decent amount of time on anime Vanguard, so I wanted to make a tier list for you guys. Just in case you don't know how this works, D tier are units that are characters that are pretty bad. C tier are units that are better than D tier but still not good or viable, and so forth, reaching SS, which are units that are defined as meta units. These units are either must-haves or just insanely good units to have. I also do want to clarify really quick, I will not be doing rare units simply because rare units are just not worth it to put on the tier list. I wanted to say this is my opinion. If you do not agree, feel free to tell me in the comments and let me know if you think this tier list needs work or I should change something around. So let's get to it. I wanted to start off with just the bottom row, the epics and whatnot. I'm just gonna get straight to it because I really do think these characters in D tier just are not good. Grimjow, even though he's a legendary, he's just not viable. He's the worst legendary and he's just not that great. He has a passive where he does extra damage to units that I think it's overhealed or overshielded. It's just simply not good, you know? And then these three units, they're just not good epics. Like, you would rather have other units, other epics even. And then we get to C tier, we got Inosuke. Inosuke is a good bleed. He was a good support until, where is it? This unit came out, Bean. So as I was saying, he was a good support, but Bean is just a better support now because he bleeds and he just does more damage. C tier, we also have Killua. Killua is good, it's just there are better units. Sasuke stuns, and personally, I think Kakashi does it better. So, talking about Kakashi, I'm gonna put him up here in C tier. And then I'm just gonna put the rest of the epics here too. I think Genos is probably a high C tier, maybe low B tier, simply because of just his usefulness. He's really good when it comes to breaking shields. Other than that though, he's alright. And then let's get the other epics out of the way. Sakura, she's a good support. She's a must-have if you're doing the raid, because you simply cannot complete it. Well, I mean, you can, but it's just better to have her. So if you are doing Act 4 of the raid, the Rengoku raid, then please bring her. She's a must-have. And then we got Crocodile. Crocodile's a slow, the only slow in the game as of right now. And he's just an insanely good support. So I'm going to be putting him up here. And then we're going to get to the must-haves for support. We got Speedwagon. Speedwagon's the money unit, as you all know. He's a must-have. He's the best thing for story. He's the best thing for raids. He's the best thing overall, unless you're doing infinite. If you're going to do infinite, then that's where Takarota comes into play. Takarota is the best for infinite and anything with 15 plus waves. So it would be Takarota. But also for the new event, the Egress boss event, then you would need both farms. So they're both very good and very viable, and they're must-haves. And then we also have Haruka Rin. Now Haruka Rin is a buffer, and then once you evolve her, her buff gets even better, because at the start when you get her and she's not evolved, you get 18% extra damage after, I think it's 6 waves. And then once you evolve her, you still get that buff, but you also get, it's a range buff too. I believe it's 10% 10% range buff, which is still really good. So she's a must-have too for support. And then let me kind of just put Pain up here too, because he's a support. He's a really good support. He pushes back units, so he's really good. And then let me backtrack really quick. Sorry, getting ahead. We got B tier Kizaru. Kizaru is really good. All right. He attacks really quick. He's multi-hit. And he does pretty good damage. So he's pretty high on B tier. Same with Black Goku. Goku is really good for starting out, I'd say. I'd say he's even close to A tier, maybe low A tier. That's maybe pushing it, but he's still really good for starting out. He does pretty high damage, and I believe he has something where if he keeps attacking, he gains more damage. I think that's one of his passives. Really good. And then we got Itachi and Gon. Both are really good units. Gon, when he first came out, Gon was like he was like an A tier, but they nerfed him, and he's now no longer A tier. He's still really good. He has a passive where the more units that are in his range, the more damage he gets. So he's still really good. It's just not as good anymore. And now we're getting to the mythics. So first mythic, Naruto. Naruto's good. I'd say I only use him for shield breaking though. He's not really the best. He got buffed recently, but he's still all right. He's not up there. And then we also got Sasuke. So Sasuke can be put in support, but he also has damage, so I'm just gonna put him up here in A tier. He's a good mythic. He's an all-rounder. He does pretty decent damage. His SPA is kind of okay. His range is good, but I think I'd use him more as just like a support. So I'd say he's A tier, but I'm just gonna put him in support category. And then gonna get to Akaza. Now Akaza, I'd say he's high A tier. I wouldn't say S tier just yet. Akaza's good. It's just his line AoE, it sucks. His line AoE sucks. He has pretty high speed SPA. He has decent damage and decent range. Now, when you activate his ability, I'd say he's probably close to S tier. That's kind of pushing it, but maybe. He's all right. He's definitely the worst unit of this update, sadly. Sorry to all the Akaza fans, but that's just how it is. He sucks. Now, Obito was S tier, maybe even meta tier. But with the recent nerf of him not applying burn per hit, he's just not that great anymore. He's good when it terms of putting him together with Rengoku, but other than that, he's just A tier. You know, he's good, but he's not like S tier. I'd say he's close to S tier, but just not that great. And now we're getting to S tier. So honestly, I'd put Rengoku at S tier. I'd say he's not meta, but he's definitely close to it. His burn is really good. His DPS is, I believe, the second highest or the third highest when you include the burn. Maybe even first. I'm not too sure on that, but he is an insanely good unit. The only thing holding him back is one, his range. His range isn't all that great. All right, but I mean, you can work around that, obviously. So it's not like it's not a character killer. You know, you can still use him, but his speed is pretty all right. His damage is really good, but what kills him is his AoE. If they kept his AoE to a cone, or if they kept it to a line, then that would have been amazing. But as of right now, he's not all that great. He could have been a lot better, that's for sure. But he's just not on par with all the other units. So next S tier, actually, Sun Jin Woo. Sun Jin Woo's meta, yes, but in terms of himself, his damage is pretty good. But I feel like I only use him when I do infinite runs or I'm trying to buff Egress. I don't really use him, so I don't know. I'd say he's S tier, possibly SS meta, but I just can't put him up there because I don't use him that much. I don't see, well, I mean, I see people using him, but it's just, especially with his nerf recently to his passive, or not passive, his ability. I think it's like 135 seconds now. That really killed him. But let's get to the SSS now. I'd say Alucard, obviously. Alucard's just top. He's always been the best. His DPS is amazing. He's pretty cheap to get to full AoE. I think it's like 12k or something like that. He's super good unit. He bleeds, and then he also cripples. So when he cripples, they take I think it's 20% damage extra or 25% extra damage. Really good. And not only is he full AoE, but he has a lot of range. His SPA is really good, and he also summons. So he is an insanely good unit. And then we also have Egress. Now Egress, I'd argue that last update, Egress was number one. But now with the recent nerf, Egress is not as good anymore. He's still really good. He got recently buffed too, so he's still good. But it's also the fact that Egress, if you want him to be even better, then you need Sun Jin Woo with him. Because Sun Jin Woo gives that buff to Egress. And that's just, he is a really good standalone unit, but Sun Jin Woo just makes him all that better. And then we got Tengen. Tengen's the newest one in this update, and he's probably the best one this update, I'd say. He has really good passive where every time he attacks, his SPA lowers, and then he also has really good range. His damage is, I'd say, on par with Egress, and he also can dodge attacks. Really good unit, really solid unit. And then next we got Chahe. Now Cha, she's super good. I think she has the highest DPS in the game. She's a 5 placement, and she can't get stunned. She's super good. I'd say she's probably one of the best for boss raid, simply because she can't get stunned. She's a 5 placement, and she's actually relatively cheap too to fully upgrade. So that's really good. And she can be considered full AoE. Well, she's almost full AoE, which is crazy because she's 5 placement. She's really good unit. Vegeta is also meta. There's no debating this. Vegeta is a 4 placement, and he also has an ability where he gains, he gains plus 100% damage on units that he's hitting, single target units. So instead of like grouped units, if he's hitting one single unit, he's doing that plus 100% damage, which is insanely good for boss killing. Insanely good. And then also, if there are no other units within his range, then he gets a minus 30 SPA, which is super good for starting out. He's a really good starter for story. He's a good starter for infinite. He's a good starter for everything. He's just an all-rounder, just super good unit that you should try and get. But yeah, that's my tier list. And if you guys have any opinions, let me know in the comments. This is just my personal opinion on update 0.5, the units, and where they stand. So please let me know if you guys think something else. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get my numbers up, hopefully. Thank you.